All right, it is just past 10 in the morning in Moscow, and we're less than 2 hours away now from Vladimir Putin's annual news conference. The Russian president will face questions, of course, about an economy reeling from falling energy prices and Western sanctions. But what's getting everyone's attention beforehand is a promotional video released by the Kremlin. Take a look. We want you to see this.
И долгожданных побед.
Мы гордимся вами.
Каким он был для России и для ее президента. Об этом он расскажет сам.
Россия своей ориентации не меняла.
Those are the less bizarre parts of it. Our senior international correspondent Matthew Chance joins us now from Moscow. It's a short clip, Matthew. It uses very arresting images. We didn't see it in that clip, but there was some global unrest. There was an ISIS beheading clip video used. What is the purpose exactly? What kind of preview is that to what we're about to hear from the president?
Well, it's been a very arresting year for Russia and for Vladimir Putin in particular. Remember, it started off with the Olympic Games, the Winter Olympics in Sochi. Then there was the annexation of Crimea and all the troubles that have taken place in Ukraine. The situation in eastern Ukraine as well, in which Russia has been accused of involvement. The downing of the Malaysian airliner, of course. Moving on to the slip in the standoff rather with the West and the NATO. Russia relationship deteriorating significantly, culminating in the crisis that we've got right now, which is the economic crisis. We've seen the ruble slip more than 50% of its value, causing, and this is going to be one of the main focuses in this press conference, causing enormous economic pain.
Russia's ruble crisis has claimed its first desperate victim. These are the last moments of businessman Ivan Shevashidze's life, caught on a hotel's surveillance camera. Russian state media says he suffered from psychological stress from the ruble's dramatic fall. He left a suicide note and shot himself. On the streets of Moscow, Russians are starting to feel the economic pain. Like 52-year-old Tatiana. My salary used to be $1,000 or even higher, she tells us. Now it's hardly even 200. It's difficult for people my age, she says. At this curbside currency exchange, people are still buying dollars despite the skyrocketing rates.
An hour ago it was 60, now it's like 85. I'm afraid because we got our wages in rubles and they don't pay in dollars. It's scary.
And this is just the start of Russia's crisis. Some Moscow stores have already suspended sales to recalibrate prices. In this holiday season, travel agents say clients are cancelling trips abroad because of the devaluing ruble. Luxuries to which many Russians have grown fond are suddenly out of reach.
Well, Errol, this isn't the first economic crisis that Russians have endured, but it's the first one which they've endured whilst Vladimir Putin has been in the role of the president. And so they're going to be looking to him at this press conference for what steps he is going to be taking to try and dig them out of this mess.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to, that one woman, if you've gone from making thousands every week or every few weeks to only a few hundreds, surely you want to hear now from President Putin what his plan will be. If history is any example, we know he's going to blame the West, he's going to blame sanctions for the current economic conditions. But considering that, Russia's likely going to go into recession next year, what new policies might he announce? Is that even expected?
It's a very difficult question to answer. I mean that's why we're watching this so closely, because it's difficult to see what options Vladimir Putin has. It's unlikely, as you mentioned, that he's going to do a U-turn on policy on issues like Ukraine in order to get the sanctions lifted as quickly as possible. But I think that even if they were lifted today, which they're not going to be, but if they were, I don't think that would have an impact significantly on the economic crisis. It's largely a crisis that's driven by the oil price, The crude oil price has been sinking. Crude oil is linked to the Russian ruble, and it's been dragging down the Russian currency with it. And so part of the problem for Russia is that it hasn't diversified its economy. It's dependent on oil exports for much of its income, and it's therefore vulnerable to the fluctuating price of global oil. And as I say, there's very, very little that Vladimir Putin can do about that.
Yeah, and it just leaves us asking that same question we've asked so many times. What does President Putin have up his sleeve? This time